Don't give the Cowboys too much credit by calling them a good team. We still don't know what the Cowboys are because the defense is so bad. But they did blow out and shut out the Atlanta Falcons. I want to flip it back to the Falcons because this is one of those mornings where there probably aren't a lot of Buffalo Bills fans that crawled out of bed to consume media today to hear everybody say how fugazi their team is. A lot of Falcons fans are going to want to hear good things about their team. And, it's funny. When I saw that Sunday night's game on NBC is Falcons at 49ers, my first thought was, whoosh. But now it's like, Yes. Bijan Robinson and company, Michael Penix Jr., let's go. Drake London, let's go. That defense, let's go. And hell, I based on how the 49ers played last weekend, they're at 4-2 and the Falcons are at 3-2, and that's going to be a hell of a game now. And I want to see more Falcons games. Devin, there's a Falcons-Colts game coming up in Berlin. And my reaction when I saw the schedule in May was a lot different than my reaction when I noticed this morning as I scroll through the Falcons schedule that we're going to have that as a 9:30 a.m. game coming up in just less than 4 weeks. Falcons, Colts, couple of elite teams potentially. Now the Falcons have to find a way to play. And Maria Taylor, huge Falcons fan, jokes about this. Like in prime time, it's all that matters. In prime time, we show up. The rest of the time, it doesn't matter. Just show up in prime time because they look great against the Vikings and great against the Bills in prime time, and they get prime time again this week. But we got some standalone games. We got a Monday night game, Week 17, Rams. At the Bucs on Thursday Night Football, damn. So this is a fun team to watch now, and they're ascending. It's just so weird. We would like the other kids to have a turn, and we're looking for the other kids, like who's going to step up, and we may have found one. Everybody's inconsistent, right? Nobody's unbeaten. There's just a couple of teams that have only one loss, and there's teams that we didn't expect the Bucs to have one loss. We didn't expect the Colts to have one loss. We didn't expect the Steelers, for crying out loud, to have one loss. The Packers are 3-1-1. That kind of counts, but it's just amazing, stupefying, and kind of frustrating that we're a third of the way in. And we got no idea. And the Falcons are in that mix. And, Devin, as Bill Belichick always said, football season starts at Thanksgiving. We're kind of circling the airport, getting ready to land at Thanksgiving. And then we'll find out who's able to really mash the gas pedal when we get into the stretch run.
Yeah, and I thought you made a great point because I think we are going to get the best of the Falcons next week against San Francisco. San Francisco, a team like kind of getting a little bit healthy coming into Sunday night, possibly George Kittle coming back. But like if I'm Atlanta, I'm like, this is a good time to play this team, right? They just went out there. They lost to Tampa. We're going to hop on them. We love playing in primetime. I want to see what Atlanta looks like after that. Those next 2 weeks, playing against Miami and New England, and not the primetime game. Also against two teams you don't see often. It's a lot easier to get up for that primetime game against the Buffalo Bills, a team you don't see often. But also it's like it's going to be primetime and it's the Buffalo Bills. Now, we'll see what happens with New England, going forward because they possibly could be sitting in that same realm if they still only have 2 losses that Atlanta goes in like, man, we're playing a good New England team. But like when you play teams you don't see often, it's a lot of work for each individual to come in and get familiar with that team. Like the New England Patriots and the last time they played Atlanta, that team's nowhere near the same really of, all right, who's here? Where's this guy? I mean, New England's a lot different than they were last year. So you have to really go and study those. My biggest thing with Atlanta is what happens when Bijan Robinson gets bottled up or teams add a second guy to say, you know what, we're not going to let Drake London beat us. Who do they turn to as the next person? Who do they get going offensively? Because it's felt like in their games when Bijan Robinson's had a good game, but not one of those like 200 yards from the line of scrimmage type games, that's like, okay, we held Bijan Robinson to 120 yards from scrimmage. All right, Drake London only has 50 or 60 yards. All right, we can win this game. I think they have to figure that out. But I think for Atlanta, the thing, if you're a fan, is you like seeing what they did defensively. The pass rush is getting there. You have some players in that secondary with Jesse Bates. Xavier Watts, the rookie from Notre Dame, has been playing at a high level. A.J. Terrell is still locking down a side. Like, there's some really good things to like about the defense, and I think Jeff Albrecht is a good coordinator and pulling out different blitzes, different things at the right time that we saw show up against a really good quarterback, and it worked. And I think that defense is going to get better and better and really have more confidence going forward.
Drake London, 10 catches for 158 last night and a touchdown. And who is that other guy? Darnell Mooney missed the game with an injury. He's missed a couple this year. Kyle Pitts. Where is Kyle Pitts? 3 catches for 18 yards last night. He's that other guy that has never really lived up to his potential. Didn't he, as a rookie, just like barely crack 1,000 yards receiving, and we all thought he was moving in the direction that his draft status would suggest, and it just hasn't been the same ever since. And last night, opportunities would have been there for him, and it just didn't happen. Before we take a break, let's hear a little from Raheem Morris and Michael Penix Jr., the coach and the quarterback of the Falcons, because the Falcons deserve all the praise we can give them this morning. Here they are talking about the importance and significance of last night's win.
It's no secret, you know. We want a playoff organization. We want to be able to go compete in those type of games, and we played one tonight. And you know, there's going to be no secret. Nobody's going to shy away from those moments. We got to go do it. But like, those are the moments you want. Those are the moments you thrive for. Those are the things you dream about from a coaching standpoint, a playing standpoint, an ownership standpoint. All of those things we want to be a part of. And I think that was just something that we wanted to go out there and show tonight.
It showed that we one of them ones. Like, this team is really good. This team is really legit. And I feel like the talent that we have on this team, it definitely helps us a lot.
You know, it's every time I see Michael Penix, my son, who is even more of a Vikings fan than I was when I was his age, and he's got this thing with Michael Penix where he's like, "Dad, we should have had him." And after the game against the Panthers, it's like, how you feeling now? We still should have had him. And last night was one of those, Dad, we should have had him. So every time I see him now, I think that it's going to drive my son crazy for the rest of Michael Penix Jr.'s career that he didn't end up in Minnesota. And they, you know, for as weird as that was, as badly as they mishandled it, giving Kirk Cousins $90 million and getting 13 games out of it, Michael Penix Jr. delivered last night. I am going to pay attention to the injury report heading into Sunday, because he was holding the right elbow. Fortunately, he's left-handed, but he was holding the right elbow near the end of the game. And curious to see how that manifests itself, Devin, when it's time to get the disclosure of whether he practiced, did he miss practice, fully participate, whatever, as we creep up on that Week 7 game that'll be on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll add is I love from those sound bites, Raheem Morris talking about we want to be a playoff team and organization. And to translate for you, Florio, when Michael Penix Jr. says we want to be one of those ones, he's saying he wants to be a playoff team as well. So I just love that energy from young teams of saying,
I knew what that meant.
We're not here to see. Okay, those TikTok dances got you going. My bad. I should have recognized you're in the in crowd. I love the energy from them, though. I think they're building the right way. Go ahead.
All right, no, it's just funny. I knew what that was. All right. Let's take a break, because we got another Monday night game to talk about, and we got other stuff going on in the NFL.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.